Now, something we've been tracking very closely. Just days after we reported on the rape and murder of two teenage sisters in Badau, a minor raped and killed in Bangalore, a rape at gunpoint in Mumbai, an attempt to rape a judge. That's the news that's coming in today in Aligarh. All of these crimes against women causing outrage not just here in the country but across the world.
Indeed, a World Tourism Council report warns that Indian tourism is facing immense negative publicity due to recurring incidents of rape and molestation. A statement by the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is coming in, where he said that he is especially appalled by the brutal and gruesome murder of two teenage women in India. Reacting to an earlier statement of Mulayam Singh Yadav, Ban Ki-moon has said, we say no to the dismissive, destructive attitude of boys will be boys. In a media briefing, the US State Department has said it is horrified to learn that these violent sexual assaults and murders are taking place in India. The report of the World Travel and Tourism Council India says that recent cases of violence against women have adversely impacted the country's image internationally. The report recommends that the government ensure speedy trials and sensitize both state government leaders and the police. It also recommends that the Tourism Ministry works on a strategy in consultation with the Home Ministry, External Affairs Ministry and Information and Broadcasting Ministry to tackle the negative publicity.
Like I think so many in India, we were horrified to learn of these violent sexual assaults and murders. Our thoughts are with the victims' families during this difficult time. And as we've said, changing laws and changing attitudes is hard work. We applaud the many individuals, government officials, and civil society groups in India that are working to protect the survivors, to prevent gender-based violence, to help it try to change what is really hard to change.
I believe that statement was in response to a question from a reporter. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon also hitting out. Here's a quote from his statement. I was especially appalled by the brutal rape and gruesome murder of two teenage girls in India who had ventured out because they did not have access to a toilet. Violence against women is a peace and security issue. Also going on to say, we say no to the dismissive, destructive attitude of boys will be boys. So quoting from that statement, and that's a reference to the Samajwadi Party chief Mulayam Singh Yadav, who had drawn flattery from all quarters after making that statement.
In fact, let's play out for you what Mulayam Singh Yadav had said last month.
जब हो गया तो लड़की जाके ब्याह देती कि मेरे साथ रेप किया। अब बेचारे को तीन को फांसी हो गई। क्या रेप में फांसी दी जाएगी? तीन लड़के हैं, गलती हो जाती है तो तीन को भी फांसी दे दी बम्बई में। अब सोचिए आप, ऐसे कानूनों को बदलने की कोशिश की जाएगी।
Modi government and our tourism ministry will definitely curb all this problem and give a good security to the foreign tourists.
Well, Mulayam Singh Yadav now is saying that his party is in fact sensitive to these concerns. The UP government, remember, saying it set up rape crisis centers now and has tried to take action. UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav is again hitting out at the media, saying we don't highlight rapes or crimes against women in other states.
जब घटना होती तो उसका प्रचार बहुत होता है और ये घटनाएं केवल उत्तर प्रदेश में नहीं हो रही हैं। अब देश के मैं आंकड़े देने लगूंगा तब भी आप मेरे पे सवाल करोगे। अगर आप इंटरनेट पे जाएं और गूगल करें तो आपको एक एक जानकारी मिल सकती है कि कहां पर घटना हुई है। बेंगलोर में घटना हुई, क्या नेशनल चैनलों पे दिखाया गया जिस तरीके से उत्तर प्रदेश की घटना को दिखाया गया?
ये जो रेप की घटनाएं हैं ये मानसिक विकृति का परिणाम होती है और इसको कोई कानून के जरिए पूरी तरह से रोक नहीं सकता है। समाज जब तक इस तरह के लोगों पर, इस तरह के बदचलन लोगों के खिलाफ उठकर खड़ा नहीं होगा, जब बाप बेटी के साथ बलात्कार करने लगे, इस तरह की कल्पना कौन कर सकता?
संवेदनहीनता हमारे अंदर नहीं, मैं संवेदनशील हूँ।
सर, सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी क्या होनी चाहिए आपको लगता है? बदायूं रेप केस में होनी चाहिए? राज्य सरकार ने
आप हो जाओ ना मैं।
Now we are hearing that even an attempted rape was done on a judge in Uttar Pradesh. Is Union Home Ministry taking the situation very seriously?
See, the officials are in touch with the state government. If situation aggravates further, definitely it's a concern for everybody. But there's nothing that we can take suo moto action because we have to have faith on the state agencies.
But Mayawati is also asking for president's rule, saying there's complete lawlessness in that state.
See, the kind of situation which we see in UP must be dealt by the state government. President rule and all these issues are larger dimensions which I cannot just comment on that.
Meenakshi Upriti joining us this afternoon from New Delhi. Meenakshi, it's bad enough that these crimes against women are taking place. What's worse is the insensitive remarks that we are hearing from political leaders. What kind of reactions are you getting when you speak to tourists, when you speak to people on the streets? Do they feel safe when they come to India?
Absolutely, the sort of reactions we're getting from the tourists is that they don't feel safe in the country. The image of the country has certainly taken a dent because of the crime against women which have been highlighted in the media, especially in the international media as well. If you speak of the Badayu incident, it was taken up by CNN, BBC, all international channels. So yes, the image of the country has certainly taken a dent. Many tourists I spoke to said that some of them were even planning to cut short their trip. Some said that their friends back home are not planning to come to the country. I have a tourist with me. Ma'am, if I was to ask you, you said you were aware of the incidents, of rape which has happened in Uttar Pradesh. Do you feel safe in the country, if I was to ask you first?
And sometimes I feel safe, but I definitely feel like I always have to be guarded, and that's not a good feeling for anyone to have ever. And so I'm always looking around and being careful who I talk to, and that's really unfortunate. I've been here 2 years ago, and it's a bit different now.
Do you think it's a bit different now? Do you think it's the rape cases which have been highlighted in the media recently? Do you have, would you know of people back home who are probably reluctant to come to the country at this point of time?
I know mostly people who are very worried about me and my safety, but I think I just have to be very aware of my surroundings always and be careful who I talk to. But yes, it's definitely...
The sort of, the incidents which have been highlighted, if you speak of the Badayu incident, where 2 girls were not only raped but hung from a tree, these type of incidents coming to light, has that scared you, your family back home, you were saying is scared for your safety?
It's definitely very scary. It's scary for any part of the world, and it's very scary. It doesn't stop me from being here today. But it's changed things, definitely.
It's changed things.
Yes.
So you just heard it from a tourist here. It has certainly changed things. This lady said that she was here 2 years ago. But these incidents which are coming to light, that has, scared tourists. Many of them planning to cut short trips. Her family back home is worried. So clearly you can see, how the country's image has taken a dent because of these incidents coming to light.
Absolutely. In fact, they're not just tourists, but the people who live here as well certainly concerned about the safety track record. Meenakshi, thanks so much. And to your guest, we do have Nirmala Sitharaman commenting.
There is a report, a UN report also, which condemns the series of rapes which are taking place. We have MOS Commerce, Nirmala Sitharaman with us. There is a report of the UN which says that boys will be boys, that kind of an attitude, and also that it doesn't do well for India's image with this series of rapes taking place.
I'd recall that every one of the Indian political party and also stakeholders in Indian women's security related matters have commented very well for the UN report, but I would place much more importance for all the voices of India which have really said that UP needs to do a lot more.
But do you think it starts affecting the image of India because, there's been alerts which have been issued earlier also, remember when the Nirbhaya case had happened?
Image of India is important. I'd place women and Indian women's security on the top, image will come automatically.
And finally, Nirmalji, what do you have to say about the attitude of leaders like Mulayam Singh Yadav? And I did speak to Ram Gopal Yadav earlier, who says that, rapes happen everywhere. Why do you only pick on UP?
Whilst rape happening everywhere has to be equally picked up, but I think it is important that when incidents are happening, at that time when it is happening, it is only natural that we'll focus attention on a particular state. Now that it is UP, it is UP.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Pallavi Ghosh there getting us that interview. A woman in Greater Noida, meanwhile, has alleged gang rape. 7 perpetrators reportedly entering the home, taking her into a room, 3 of them that is, and raping her. This is the survivor who has said that her husband and father-in-law were kept in a separate room, saying that there was an altercation with her husband earlier. But sources are telling us the police is citing discrepancies in this case because they have 3 different complaints from this family. Not all of them mention sexual harassment. Sources are also saying the medical report is inconclusive.
Another incident, a woman judge from Aligarh has claimed that two of her relatives tried to rape her. Police say the perpetrators threw pesticide on her face. This happened despite security presence outside the judge's residence. The accused are absconding. And the Yadavs, meanwhile, coming in for sharp criticism, not just from international organizations, but political leaders from other parties as well, who call their attitude and response disappointing.
Atrocious statements, atrocious statements. I mean, this is what I've been quoting also. I mean, if the national president of the ruling party in UP gives a statement like this, कि लड़कों से गलतियां हो जाती हैं. If the Yuva chief minister, I mean, I'm a young parliamentarian, I really look up to Yuva leaders, of our country, irrespective of the caste and the party line precisely. If they give statement like this, कि आपके साथ तो नहीं हुआ, तो आपको हमारे लिए प्रचार करना चाहिए. It's atrocious.
According to the police, the three different complaints came, one at 11:40, another at 11:45, and next complaint came next day at 2:30. In the first two complaints, there were only complaints of loot and minor fighting between the two groups. In the third complaint, which was later converted into an FIR, was the complaint wherein the person had, the victim has alleged that she was also sexually assaulted. So on the basis of that, a FIR has been registered in that particular case. Police sources are telling us at this point of time is that the medical report has so far not shown any conclusive evidence towards sexual assault. However, the investigation is going on, but both the sides of the story are coming out in a very different manner, and that's why probably the police needs to investigate this case further.